Hey everyone, I'm Russell Mullin with Mother Earth News, and I'm here today with Suzanna Vasquez, and today we're going to be showing you all how to split a hive. So as you can see, this hive is pretty full, and Suzanna's going to walk us through the process, and I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, so you're going to remove the weight that holds the top down.
Okay.
And lay it not directly behind, but further. Okay, great. Then you're going to gently pop the lid.
Okay.
Gently break that seal. And since we know that there's some space behind there you go. Or you can do it from the front, either way. And then smoke it.
Okay, do I go ahead and lift this off? Or?
Actually, why don't you pass the smoker to me and I'll get the gals that are on this side.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to prime it so ashes and cinders don't fly out, sparks. I'm going to just very gently smoke them.
And so what exactly is it about the smoke that what are we doing here?
They communicate by scent through pheromones, and so we're going to reduce their ability to sense the alarm pheromone, which has a similar scent to banana, and it confuses them a little bit. It also lets them think that there might be a fire in the area, and it's time to tank up and fill up their nectar baskets with honey in case they have to fly away and look for a new home.
Okay.
So it's doing a variety of things. It's saying there might be a fire in the area. Let's fill up. I'm going to let you hang on to that. And it kind of masks a little bit their alarm pheromone. Okay, so you want to smoke them again. Lift it up. And we're going to lay this upside down behind the hive. And one of the things I do when we take a lid off is I look to see if I see hive beetles in the corners or anywhere in the lid, and I'm not seeing anything right away. Yep, not seeing anything. And we're going to take the inner cover out, the inner roof out, inner top, and we're going to use it in a minute. Okay, did you smoke them good?
I did.
Okay. Now, last time we looked at this hive, there were some drone eggs at the top. Let's check the middle and see what's up there now.
Okay.
Okay, so with this one, it has a loop.
Okay.
Compared to my other one, which is fairly straight lined. Mm-hmm. So what you do is you put it in like this, and then you lift. See how it pries it?
Yep.
Without, oops. There you go. And you can do that to both sides if it's really stuck.
Okay.
All right, what are you seeing?
So we're seeing a lot of nectar on this side. I'll pass this off to you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing any eggs on this side. Mostly shiny, wet nectar. And some pollen. They are just beginning to build wax out of this one, and they're just starting. If I tilt it a little bit like this, you can see it's not very deep yet. And they're doing that on both sides. So this tells you that they tend to start in the middle of an open space and work their way out and down. I'm going to lay that down here. And here's an empty one that just has foundation on it. Oh, no, it doesn't. This side has just foundation on it. They're building wax. It's a little deeper than the other frame I just showed you. I just see nectar on this side.
Okay.
Let me take a quick peek and see if, oh, and I see larvae.
Okay, so there's larvae clear up into the third box here.
Yep, and I'm going to demonstrate how to gently wrangle them to a different side. I'm going to blow, and I don't know if you can see this on the camera well, but I'm going to gently blow. And herd them or steer them. Away from the area that I want to look at. And sure enough, there are little tiny larvae. They'll be smaller than the holes. There'll be little straight eggs, teeny little straight eggs in there that are not even half the distance across the cell, about 1/3. See how there's a, instead of doing it flat, they're creating a new piece of comb that's going perpendicular to the comb already. That's a big no-no. We want to remove that. When you're a beekeeper, that means that there was too much space between the frames and we need to squeeze them closer together. And so we're going to take that out to redirect them away from that. Okay. So this has...
And the name for that is cross comb, if I'm not mistaken?
When it reaches to, yeah, they're trying to reach to the other frame, so we call that cross comb. They're crossing the comb from one frame to another. There's another piece. And we're just going to take those off as we come along. So if you see this clump down here, these holes are bigger than these holes. Just a little bit bigger. Those are going to be drones. Now if you look up here, actually those eggs have just laid down. That's probably the first day of their larvae stage, if the coating has hatched out, has been shed. So we are going to just lay these down here.
Okay.
So you have to pop the seal, and the best way I've come across is to break the seal on that side and that side, and do that corner over there with your hive to the slender part, and then lift this way toward me, away from where you broke the seal, and then snap that way. Okay. Now, because it's a fairly new hive, you don't have to do a lot of snapping. Okay, you're going to want to smoke them. Okay, now if you look closely, there's comb that they built up. This is between the top bar of these frames and the bottom bar of the box that was above it. And one of the things you can do is you can scrape it off. Sometimes it'll have larvae in it, but it doesn't right now.
Okay.
And I don't see, oh, it has eggs. Look at this. There's some on here, but I don't know if it'll be easy. Oh, geez, look at this. Look right here. You're going to have to bend over a bit. See that?
Oh yeah, I do see them.
They look like I don't know. How would you describe that?
Well, they're standing pretty straight up, maybe just beginning to lean over a little bit.
This one is
curling
just attached by its tip, the tip of its body. So we're going to scrape this off.
Okay.
Oh, and you always want to make sure there's just one egg. Now see right here, it looks like there might be 2 eggs right there. And sometimes a queen will make a mistake, which is no big deal to just find one, but if a whole batch of them are multiples, you have 2 or more, then you need to kind of keep an eye on the hive and see if your queen is failing or having problems. Right here, under that bee, is a bee trying to get out. Oh, there's another one here too. See that one? And another one here. They're removing the cappings. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a few of them. They're hatching out of their, well, no, the eggs hatch out of their coating. These are bees that have completely matured from their larvae state, and then they go to a pupal state, and they're actually emerging from their pupal state. They've completely phased out of that, and they are about to become a mature bee. And then these ones that are puffed up, that are bigger, and they kind of got squished when we pulled them out. Oh, here's one emerging. See her? And her wings look nice and straight, and I don't see mites on her so far. And she's gonna get something to eat there and move her muscles around. These are drones. These are bigger, and they put them in every once in a while, and these are drone pupal or larvae. See how they puff up when they're not squished? Okay, and then there's a little bit of propolis and nectar here and there around. So at the very bottom, there are cups. There are cells that are pointing downward. Those are potential queen cells. And because they're clustered together at the bottom and there's several, those are swarm cells. And that's their natural way of propagating. Kind of like splitting iris so that they'll make more. I'm just going to scrape these off because we really don't want them to swarm. Instead, we're going to split them.
Yeah, and in fact,
and hope that stops the swarming behavior.
And we had scraped these off just a couple of days previous, actually. So
yeah, and when they put swarm queen cells or any kind of queen cell, they often put a few drone cells around it too. So there's a few larger drone cells on them, and that's what these guys are that are sticking straight out. Those are drones. And they're handy because the mites like the drone cells better because they get a few days extra. See that little brown thing, that little brown dot? Slightly darker than the comb. They came right out. These are varroa mite. That is one of their main problems right now. Varroa mites carry a lot of diseases, much like ticks do for us.
It's really interesting to see how they interact with pests because I've also seen them chasing small hive beetles as well.
Yeah.
Almost like they're herding them.
There's another one right here. Oh, she's going to clean it off. I don't know where she's going to put it, but she's saving it for something. Did you see her take a drop of that?
Yeah, I saw that.
So you were asking me that the other day, and I don't really pay attention to it that much. I usually just try and get the hive closed up.
And so they repurpose the protein. Is it for creating more brood, or
I would expect so, or to nourish themselves. Most of the protein, I think, is for raising the brood. Mm-hmm. What I want you to do is I want you to move it over to that new where we're going to put the new hive. Set up the new hive. We're going to split these in half.
So
I'm pretty sure there are eggs on the bottom, or I would go ahead and inspect the whole thing first. It's going to be heavy. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. You want to be on that side? And I usually tell people to, not too much, just a little bit.
Okay.
Don't put it all the way down, just kind of what would you call that? Cross.
Yep.
Cross the points across the straight edge and then slowly slide them, because that's only like 1 or 2 bees that you might be squishing if the hive had been full. And you just slowly slide and pinch. I pinch the corners until they match. And they don't always match. Sometimes some boxes are bigger than the others. And if you try to get it lined up, first of all, it's really hard to do. And you're going to squish all the bees that are laying on around the perimeter. Okay, so give them a little smoke to calm them down a little bit, or get them busy doing something else other than stinging me. Okay, let's get this box up.
Okay.
And sometimes you have to break the seal from where it was sitting. little catty corner. Yeah, there we go. Squeeze the corners. Okay, can you put a few of them over here? And I think I have another bee in my shoe. Yeah, she's tickling me. She hasn't stung me yet, but she's... And let's move these over. Whoops. Why don't you put 2 new ones in that side? And 1, 2, 3, 5. They hold 10 frames, so we're going to put 5 new ones on the sides, 2 on one side, 3 on the other. You want to smoke them so they go down, so I can put this in the right position. I don't want to squish them because one side's flatter. Inner covers are all different. Sometimes they're like this, depressed on both sides, and sometimes one side is flatter than the other. That's flush. In the summer, you're supposed to put it like this.
And what is the purpose of that? Why is it switched?
To let some of the hot air away from the frames. Supposedly.
Okay.
Okay, so just very gently wiggle that down so you're not squishing them. And I would, yeah.
Okay.
And then just slowly slide the corners over. And you can put the lid on. And I would dump the bees over here. Well, your corner has a bunch of bees. I would dump them in the front. They can climb their way back up. Watching to see if any hive beetles come off. Now, last time we had hive beetles. This time I didn't see any. And then you've got that opening on the inner cover that you want to...
Okay, so let's push it back flush.
Okay, so now you can smoke that other hive. You can put your weight up here. And I sometimes don't do that right away in case I make a last minute change.
I see. And this weight is to keep things like raccoons and
the wind
from taking the top off? Okay.
Especially the raccoons.
Okay.
Good pinching the corners together, matching them together. I'm going to put these in. Now they're going to have all sorts of extra space. Hopefully they won't want to swarm anymore, but we'll check them again. See the little holes that he put in? Because it's a vacuum, this is all physics, I can't explain. As soon as we put it all the way upside down, it should keep it from dripping out. And I'm going to do it away from the bees near the lid, over the lid, so you can see. It drips at first, but then, see? Voila! There's little holes that they can suck nectar out of. I'm going to put it back here away from the entrance. And we're not going to put it in the middle because we don't want it accidentally dripping onto the larvae. And so this is just over the nectar frames and pollen. We'll put it back there. And
this is just a light sugar syrup that was made up and just has the tiniest amount of wintergreen essential oil in it.
Yes, and we had started to talk about that, but the bees got really busy, so I quit talking. But they did research, and another essential oil that's been very effective is thyme oil, the thymol. And it has been extracted and used for chemical applications. But we're trying to be as natural as possible. Completely natural would be not using anything. But we recognize that the bees are struggling. And do you have another block for them? I do. Awesome.
Thank you so much for
you're welcome.
Here for showing us how to split a hive and a number of other things as well. I know this was a really great learning experience for me, and I hope that it's great learning experience for you all too. And certainly if you have any questions, let us know, type them in. We like to check out the comments and we'll try and get those answered.